So with Chilwell set to be out till the new year, what changes have I made in my team for this week? So I have made quite a few changes, only one transfer, which was removing Chilwell for a player you'll see in a minute. But I've made quite a few changes with the players I've moved in and out from my sub bench to my first team. But anyway, here is my Game Week 13 team. So let's start off with the goalkeeper. I've gone with Sa this week. He plays Norwich. Funny enough, last week he played West Ham and got more points than Guaita, who was playing Burnley, so that's FPL for you. But this week I'm going with Sa. He plays Norwich. They have won their last 2 matches, but Wolves are a top-class side, and I expect them to keep a clean sheet there. But who knows? It's FPL, and I've got Guaita on the bench, who's playing Aston Villa at home, which isn't the hardest fixture in the world, but Gerrard's new Aston Villa could cause problems to that Crystal Palace defence. And now the first player in my defence is Lewis Dunk, straight off the bench last week due to... Was he off the bench last week? Yes, he was, because Rafinha didn't play. So he's straight off the bench into my team, and also Matty Cash was thrown into my team because Olmo Bamidele didn't play. But yeah, Lewis Dunk's playing this week. He plays Leeds. If Rafinha is fit, I think Leeds could score, but Brighton have got a quality defence. But if Rafinha is out, I see them struggling to get past that Brighton back line because it is very assured. And now the next player in my team is Reece James. So this lad is a brand new player in my team. Because Ben Chilwell's injury is a long one, he's out for months, I thought, who's a like-for-like replacement with Ben Chilwell? Or you just switch to the other side of that Chelsea defence and bring in Reece James. He comes in at a little bit more money, but he offers the same threat and has arguably been in better form than Chilwell this season. But I just didn't do that earlier on because I had Chilwell over James, and there's no point swapping a player for a like-for-like swap if they're both around that similar level. And then obviously the final player in my defence is Kostas Tsimikas. So Robertson did get a run out yesterday in the Champions League, so who knows who will play on the weekend. But if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. I've got Cash on my bench to come on for him. And yeah, but if he does plays, all the better for my FPL team, because that lad is a quality fullback. So now we move on to my midfield, and who is the first player in my midfield? So the first player in my midfield is Son. So why have I chosen Son this week? Well, he's been in my team for, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks now. He hasn't returned yet, but he plays Burnley this weekend. And yes, this is the match that Tottenham have got to score a couple of goals in. Like, Burnley have been great going forward this season. It's ridiculous. They scored 3 goals on a number of occasions that I can recall off the top of my head, which is absolutely brilliant. But will their defence be strong enough to stop the likes of Kane, Son, Moura, etc.? And especially under Conte, he's going to be going at them. Come on, score goals, score goals, score goals. And hopefully Son can get on the score sheet for my FPL team, because it was really disappointing last week that Tottenham got 2 goals and Son was not involved in any of them. No assists, no goals, no nothing. And now the next player in my midfield is Conor Gallagher. So Conor Gallagher staying right in my team. Unless he gets injured, he's going to be in my team pretty much all season. The lad is a quality player. He's ticked over a lot of points recently. In his last 3 game weeks, he's managed to accumulate himself an astonishing 29 points. Sorry, I thought that was 31. But yeah, 29 points in his last 3 game weeks for a Crystal Palace attacking midfielder. And the midfielder in the game is absolutely brilliant. The lad is cheap at 6 million, but he's owned by quite a lot at 24.9%. But when I brought him in 2 weeks ago against Wolves, the lad got me a goal. Yeah, Lambert got me a goal and an assist, and I think he got me an assist last week as well. So he's been in fine form, and he's staying in my team. And now the next player in my team is Mohamed Salah. So this lad right here has been one of the best players in the world this year. You all know about him. He's a quality lad, and I'm sticking the armband on him this weekend as he plays Southampton at home, which on paper is a great fixture for Liverpool. But as you know, it's the Premier League, anything can happen, but hopefully he can get on the score sheet, because he did last night against Porto, and get me some points for my FPL team and win the match, because I am a Liverpool fan too, if you didn't know already. And now the next 2 players in my team and the 2 final midfielders are Rafinha and Jotter. So Rafinha has had an illness which kept him out for last weekend's match, but hopefully he will be available to play Brighton this weekend. So that's why he's staying in my team. But if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter. I've got Cash and Olmo Bamidele on my bench. So really, Cash is the only one who's going to definitely start off my bench. So hopefully Tsimikas and Rafinha can stay fit, because I don't know if Olmo Bamidele will play, and I don't want to play with 10 players. But yeah, that is the 4 midfielders right there. And obviously the final midfield, like I've said, Diogo Jota. The lad is brilliant. His goals to game ratio is absolutely absurd. He's a quality asset. He seems to have overcome that knee problem. They left him out last night against Porto, but the game didn't really have much meaning, and they thought, let's rest Jota. But hopefully he's fit and raring to go on the weekend and get me some points for my FPL team and, yeah, score some more goals. That would be lovely. And now we move on to the Strikeforce. So who are my 2 strikers? Well, it's the same 2 that have been in there for the past several game weeks, Vardy and Jimenez. And as you could probably know already, Vardy is skating on thin ice. Super thin ice. He is like skating on the thinnest of ice, is Jamie Vardy. He plays Watford this weekend. That's why I kept him in. Yes, they did play amazing last weekend, beating Man United. I love to see that. But he hasn't been in great form recently. And also Watford have not been in the best defence. Like, their defence isn't that great. I know it wasn't really tested last weekend, but it's not that great. So I'm sticking with Vardy this week. He plays Watford this weekend, then Southampton. And if he hasn't scored by game week 14, he's out. Because I'm not having this anymore. The guy cost 10.5 million, give or take, and he's just hasn't done anything. I brought him in game week 9 for Brentford. And in that time, he's only got me 4 points in 4 game weeks, which is awful. Like, don't get me wrong. If he was 8 million, 7 million, I'd be like, but at 10.5 million, you've got to be scoring goals frequently and getting assists. Unless I haven't been in great form recently either. So, yeah, I know. Vardy is skating on super thin ice. And then the final player in my attack is a player who cost about £3 million cheaper, but is an absolute gem of a player in this game, Raul Jimenez. I've had him in from game week 4. He's returned in the majority of the game weeks I've had. I think maybe half of them or more than half of them. And he got 8 points last week, scoring the only goal of the match against West Ham, which was a brilliant result for Wolves. And yeah, he's a quality asset and he's staying in my team. And his next 2 fixtures are Norwich and Burnley, so hopefully he can get me goals in those 2 matches because you know those teams are quite weak, but you never know. Norwich have been in decent form recently, and so have Burnley. So yeah, who knows about that? But after that, he plays Liverpool, City, Brighton, Chelsea. Like, these are hard fixtures here, and Arsenal, Man United. So he may get removed from my team then, because when you play the likes of Man City, Liverpool, etc., you know they're going to be tough fixtures on paper. But if Vardy's not performing, I'm getting rid of Vardy, and I'm keeping Jimenez, because he could still took over with a couple of goals in that time, because what a quality player he is. He's one of the best players in the league, in his position, in my opinion. And yeah, that's my team right there. And if you didn't know my bench, it's Guaita, Cash, Omobamidele, and Locadia. Locadia being on the final bit of the bench because he's cheap and he just takes a spot. Omobamidele, who I hope would play, but doesn't seem to be playing under Dean Smith. But, you know, we'll have to give him time because he's only had 1 match where he hasn't played. Omobamidele. Cash is there. He could easily come on for Tsimikas if he doesn't start, or Rafinha if he hasn't passed his illness. And then I've got Guaita, who's rotating out with Sat in goal throughout my team throughout the season. But yeah, that is my Game Week 13 team. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. And I'll catch you in the next one.